9440.
4405.
944405. 05.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick and I'm here with Lieutenant Ronnie Murray, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Ronnie.
Uncle John.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's always great to have you on a show.
You make me look good.
I know I do. Speaking of looking good, the citizens make the sheriff's office look good. You guys have done, look, how many?
5 more. Total of 4,951. 4,951.
That's
Keep
awesome.
calling. We can't do it without them.
That's right. Keep calling, support the sheriff's office. Now, other things that people get called on are scams.
If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Let's just be honest about it. And just so y'all know, the sheriff's office is never going to call you and ask you for money to bond somebody out. That's going around on Facebook. There's some phone calls that are being made. Sheriff Wade would never have anybody call you and say, hey, you need to come and bond your grandson out. But first, we'll take the money over the phone. And that's happening.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I got a call from somebody that I know very well at the sheriff's office, Investigator John Roberts.
And it wasn't him, was it?
And it wasn't him because I recognize his voice, and they said that I had a warrant outstanding and I needed to call them right away. And I almost called just to say, John, how are you?
Please don't. He's so busy.
He is busy. Well, Ronnie, thank you. We're going to be watching out for some scams, but now we're going to watch out for the first half of the lineup, and then we have a really important guest for you. So stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, William Deason. Mr. Deason, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for a failure to appear on receiving stolen property first. And this is Justin Wade. Mr. Wade, last known to be living in Heflin, he's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property first. Take a look at Jamie Bird. Mr. Bird, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on trafficking in heroin. And we'd like you to meet Toby Aaron. Mr. Aaron, last known to be living in Boaz, he's wanted for failure to appear, possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana second, use and possession of drug paraphernalia, and being a person forbidden to possess a pistol. Take a look at Glenn Lee. Mr. Lee, last known to be living in Talladega, he's wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. And this is Calvin Lawler. Mr. Lawler, last known to be living in Talladega, he's wanted on a bond revocation for sodomy first and sex abuse first. And please meet Shannon Oaten. Miss Oaten, last known to be living in Jacksonville, she's wanted on a probation violation for theft of property third. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. So we hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup, and if you did, you give Lieutenant Ronnie Murray a call. You call, he hauls. We have a great guest here with us, Byron Jackson, the Right Reverend Byron Jackson.
Thank you for having me.
But you're not here to talk about your fantastic church.
No, not
You're
today.
here to talk about ASAP, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, all right then. So tell us about ASAP.
So the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention is a nonprofit organization that works specifically in the area of prevention. So we don't do counseling, we don't do treatment. We are strictly in the area of education and prevention. So this agency actually has been long-standing in the community. It actually started back in the 1970s under a different name. But now it is the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention. Our executive director, Sayram Selassie, is leading
Awesome
that.
guy,
Yeah,
Sayram.
great guy.
He has grown that agency. Do you know Sayram?
I do. We're actually very active with ASAP. I send them stats each month. So.
Yeah. He has grown that program tremendously over the last few years.
And so he's doing a wonderful job leading. I'm actually one of the newest members of the team there at ASAP. I was brought on for the purpose of serving as the faith-based support specialist ambassador.
Good.
And so that's a new program. That's a brainchild of ASAP. Because we noticed that most people who are struggling with substance use disorder actually turn to their church or their faith community first. But oftentimes, we as pastors and even churches are ill-equipped to be able to, of course, we pray for them, right? We counsel them, we give them spiritual guidance. But at the same time, there are practical outworkings to the answers of those prayers, and we just don't have those resources at our disposal. So ASAP created this program entitled FBSS, that's what we call it for short, to equip pastors, actually 240 pastors over the next 2 years is what we receive funding for, to educate and equip pastors to effectively minister. And what we mean is we want to educate them on the emerging trends in substance misuse. Because most times we live in a bubble, right? I mean, we go to church, we serve our people, we carry out funerals, and then we go home to our families. So we don't know the changes in substance use and substance misuse. So we want them to know, we want pastors to be equipped in that area. Also cultural competence, right? So we need to be able to know how to converse with someone who's high, someone who's, struggling and addicted, right? We also want to equip them on what assessment looks like, what treatment planning looks like. Not that they will do it. Right. We don't want pastors doing it. There are certified resources that we want to put at their fingertips, but we want them to be able to have all the tools necessary to be able to refer people. And so this program is actually backed by the Alabama Department of Mental Health. Really? And it's absolutely free.
So is that where the funding came from? Was
Actually the funding came from the FOR Foundation. It's the Foundation for Opioid Response Efforts. It's based out of New York. Okay. It's actually one of the largest granting agencies and organizations in North America. It is a great foundation that has partnered with us, and they love this idea. And so they actually granted us, it was actually in the paper, we received over $164,000 to fund this effort for the next 2 years. And so we're aiming to train 120 pastors per year.
That's amazing. Yeah. Leave it to Sayram to find that kind of a grant. Or did you find it?
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. They had already done the work by the time I got there. So
that's amazing. So you're going to have 240 pastors.
And so we're actually going to split it up. The Alabama Department of Mental Health breaks up the state of Alabama into 4 regions. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it starts at the top, works its way down. So we're going to start here at home. The very first FBSS training conference will be held here in Oxford at the Oxford Civic Center on March 31st and April 1st.
This year?
This year. So at the end of this month. In 30 days, we'll be meeting for the first one, and it covers Cleveland and Randolph County all the way across to Tuscaloosa and Pickens County. It's basically the I-20 corridor is Region 2. Okay. So we've been recruiting pastors, putting word out to pastors throughout this area of the state to meet us in Oxford. They can register by contacting me, and we also have a website that's getting ready to go live. It's fbss.asaprev.com. And so we're going to start there. The next one will be the next quarter, 3 months from now. June 23rd and 24th will be in Huntsville. After that, we'll be in Montgomery on September 23rd and 24th. And then we'll close out the year in Mobile on December 8th and 9th.
So ASAP's doing this all over the state?
Yes. Yes. It's a statewide grant. Yeah.
And ASAP's, of course, based here. Right,
yes.
Right in Oxford.
Right here in Oxford, yes.
Sayram's a local guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's affecting the entire state with this program.
Yeah,
as other programs as well.
Yes.
Remarkable. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about this and more about ASAP, and we'll even let Ronnie talk if he wants.
Okay. You're making me look good, so I'll just sit here and nod.
Well, stay tuned. We have the second half of the lineup, and come back with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Constance Murphy. Miss Murphy, last known to be living in Hoax Bluff. She's wanted on a probation revocation for possession of a controlled substance. And meet Howdu Wynn. Mr. Wynn, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted on a writ of arrest for possession of marijuana first. And meet Kelvin Caver. Mr. Caver, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for a writ of arrest on burglary third. And this is McCollin Kissick. Mr. Kissick, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on domestic violence second assaults. And have a look at Clifford Thomas, Mr. Thomas, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for a failure to appear on possession of a forged instrument. First, an obstruction of justice by using a false ID. And this is Rebecca Chenard. Miss Chenard, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation violation on burglary third and possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for our Crime Stopper, or that's it for the lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup. And if you did, call Lieutenant Ronnie Murray. You call, he hauls. We're here with the Reverend Byron Jackson, who is the faith-based ambassador.
Right.
But
right.
you're like the lead preacher guy.
I guess.
At ASAP's statewide program.
Yes.
That's been funded by the Ford Foundation.
Fore, F-O-R-E.
Oh,
Fore Foundation. Yes.
Ford Foundation. And this is a remarkable program. You're recruiting 240 pastors to work in the area of, now you use the term substance misuse. Mm-hmm. We've been using substance abuse for years and years. So what's the, and that's a new term.
Yes.
I think it's obvious what it means, but why don't you tell us why there's that distinction now?
So there was a change, and this was hard for me actually when I first came on, because you heard words like addiction, right? Mm-hmm. And you heard words like abuse. Well, you know, in our effort to be politically correct, and that's a nationwide shift, there's a realization that the people, because those terms give the connotation that the one who is struggling is abusing the substance, when in reality, the sellers of the substance, the creators of the substances, are really abusing and playing on the desperation of the people who are actually struggling with them. And so that's how the term shifted from abuse and addiction to substance misuse or substance use disorder, because it really is a disorder that develops.
Yeah,
yes.
It's in the DSM-5.
Yes.
DSM, Diagnostic Standards Manual, version 5. You should have one of those.
I do.
Okay.
You gave it to me.
I probably did.
You did?
So, okay, having the first kickoff conference here, March 31st, April 1st, right here in Oxford, and then one every quarter
Yes.
throughout the state. And you hope to get 120 pastors this year. Now,
Yes.
is that who's going to the conference, pastors, or
So it's senior level religious leaders.
senior level religious
Senior
leaders?
level religious leaders.
So we're not going.
We're not going. The Pope might be coming. Is the Pope coming?
Well, no, the Pope isn't coming.
Okay.
But it is actually written up for, when we say senior level religious leaders, we mean head pastors and those who are ordained in churches. So they can serve on staff. They may not be the lead pastor, but they can be the youth pastor. Those who are on the ground working with people, but the design is that those who are ministering to them are the ones who get the training, so that they can get the certification and be equipped to minister to their people.
This would be really good for law enforcement to get involved in the training, because, I mean, we're out on the front lines. I mean, we talk to these individuals before anybody does.
Absolutely.
Most of the time. So I think this would be a good thing for law enforcement.
Well, we should. Can we get Ronnie at the conference?
Well, hopefully we can get it expanded.
Someone other that's
expanded.
ordained.
Yeah, we can
Someone
get it
other
expanded.
that's
yeah.
ordained?
Yes.
Do we have other people
I'm
that are
sure
ordained?
we have ordained individuals at the sheriff's office.
I have that online thing. I don't know that counts.
Well, have them call us.
Friends.
Well, so how are you getting the word out to the pastors, the
So-
religious leaders in town?
So I've literally, as the ambassador of the program, I've been going county to county, hitting churches.
Okay.
Of course, I pastor my own church, but during the week, hopefully we can catch pastors in the office. We've been going out. So I've been all around our county, St. Clair, various counties throughout the area. I've also been presenting at denominational meetings because this is an ecumenical program, and I want to be sure I state that.
Sure.
That it's not just designed for Christian or Protestant churches and pastors. We want to hit all faiths, right? So I've even been able to talk with some imams, some Muslim leaders and preachers and pastors. So as well as Catholic priests, even pastors of the Methodist faith and various denominations as well as faiths. And so this is spread out. It's an ecumenical program. We don't want it to be singled in for Christian pastors, because the goal is not to help one denomination. The goal is to actually change our entire community by being able to reach people and help people get the relief that they need from substance use disorder.
That's a huge thing. And starting here in Calhoun County, we have all of those faiths
Absolutely.
and others here.
Yes.
We have the synagogue for those that are Jewish, and we have a big Muslim community here.
Absolutely.
And so this is really amazing.
Absolutely.
We didn't talk ahead of time, so
Right,
this was
right.
a surprise to me, and this is cool. Don't you think it's cool?
Yeah, I've been involved in it for over a year now. It's awesome.
Oh, Ronnie. All right, so the things to remember for our community is we've got the conference coming up March 31st,
Yes.
April 1st, for the religious leaders in town. So if our audience, if you're watching and you happen to be a religious leader, you need to tune into this. If you go to church, and I'm sure most of our audience does, if you go to church, talk to your pastor, talk to your priest, rabbi, imam, and make sure they get in touch with ASAP.
Yes.
And how do they do that?
So we actually have a website that's going live. It is fbss.asaprev.com. But they can also email me or call me on my cell phone. And my cell number is 256-525-8191. You can also email me. It's my name, Byron A. Jackson, at gmail.com.
Outstanding. Well, Reverend Jackson, I'm so pleased you came on the show to tell us about that.
Thank you for having me.
And even though this was old news to Ronnie, it was new to me and our listening audience, our viewing audience. So we appreciate it. We hope to hear more about this down the road. So
Absolutely.
Get you back on the show to talk more about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for you guys, stay with us. We have our Crazy Criminal coming up and our Crime Stoppers portion. So stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to help us on the following cases. First up, on December 28th, a white male entered the MAPCO in Alexandria about 5 p.m. and is now a person of interest. We're looking for him, so please help in identifying the person in the photo below. On February 14th, someone stole a black 4x6 single-axle trailer with dual ramps from the Tredegar Road in Jacksonville. And between February 1st and February 2nd, on Rocky Hollow Road in Jacksonville, someone stole a 1999 blue Chevy Silverado and a Sears rototiller, pull-behind, long tractor attachment. And between January 31st and February 7th, a 2006 black Chevrolet Colorado was stolen from Stadium Drive in Alexandria. Between February 8th and February 11th, 4 industrial air conditioning units were stolen from a business located on Highway 431 in Alexandria. And that's it for the Crime Stoppers portion of our show. If you have any information on these cases, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Ronnie, you know what time it is.
Crazy criminal time.
It's Crazy Criminal time.
You can sink your teeth into this one, I'm just telling you.
Oh, dear.
It's a good one.
Tell us.
So, you see the teeth there?
I do.
So this individual decided to break into a garage, steal beer and some lollipops, I believe it was.
Beer and lollipops?
Beer and lollipops. However, this individual decided to leave his false teeth when he left the garage, and the owner found him a couple of weeks later and called the police back. Well, was able to tie him to that one and then several other burglaries that he had committed in the area. So
How did they do that from a nice set of false teeth?
well, they knew who he was from his teeth. He was missing them, so
Okay,
You wanna
so they
get your
rounded
teeth
up all
back.
the usual toothless suspects?
I think that'd be a lot. So
That
I
would
don't
be a
think they
lot.
did it that way. But
do you-
this gentleman wanted his teeth back. So, hey, we found your teeth. Come get them.
Put it on Facebook, I've lost my teeth. Did
I
they
don't-
do it
you
with
know.
DNA?
No, it didn't. It's not like CSI would still be waiting. It don't happen in
so
30
the
minutes.
investigators just chomped right into this crime.
Hey, this guy bit off more than he can chew.
Oh, I don't think I can top that one. Ronnie, it's always great to have you on the show.
Always.
Remember, if you've got scams that if you think it's too good to be true, it probably is. Call Ronnie and let him know.
Yes.
He's the scam champion guy. And what else you guys still hiring down there?
Always. Come see us. Give us a call, 256-236-6600. Love to have you. Love to have your application.
Yeah.
I get to interview you, so you know it'll be fun.
It will be fun. Ronnie's a great guy to be interviewed by and a great guy to work for. He's a good leader. Sheriff's office, good pay.
It's the best place there is.
It is indeed. I was there for a long time.
You were.
I was. I retired.
You molded me.
I molded you.
You did.
You were moldy now. Okay, so we thank you for tuning in to Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We hope to see you again next week, but not in the lineup, here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.